So,
hold on. Close the door and then you're recording, right?
oh yeah.
Yep, I'm recording. Okay.
Yes, we're recording. It's recording.
Yeah.
It's recording. It's recording.
So, right, back up a little bit, Joe. Right there. You can inch a little bit forward. Perfect, right there. So try not to move it any closer from where you're standing, and then you're good.
All right, Derek. This is good enough for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna do some fun Q&A stuff today. We have Brian and Derek here today. Also, you might see the camera turn around. You might see it facing this way. I mean, we don't know. We want to get some information out there to you that it's just, and I wanted to do a real like relaxed type of situation because everyone's trying to make money right now. That's the bottom line, Brian. I think like this is something I can tell you that's been noted, and I don't know anyone that's not feeling some sort of crunch. I mean, even my billionaire friends are feeling a crunch right now, and that's the part that's makes this chapter so exciting. And I think you had mentioned, can you repeat the question? You said something about AI.
Yeah, Joe. I was curious how you think AI is transforming digital marketing in 2024.
Now, the best way to explain that is that it's not the future. AI is not the future. It's now. It's happening right now. And if you're not in it to win it right now, and have not put the time in, I've put already, I can tell you right now, 18 months into studying nothing but AI programs. I've also collaborated with very many teams that are really good at what they do because we can't do it all. Not one person can do everything, okay? So you have to have like really good, solid collaborations that work really well. But AI has changed the landscape of like how we copyright. AI changed the landscape of how we're adding so much more value into the speed of our work, but also the quality of the work that we're able to pop out and just place it into some nice software, and we can rock and roll from there. But there's the human element. We're still shooting the content. We're still creating the video content. We're still making sure that everything is looking good. We're following, a lot of our meta partners that collaborate with us daily, and so that makes a big difference too. That's one of the things that changes concept digital marketing is the fact that we have a lot of collaborative partnerships that we formed that are people that are at our hand and reach. So if there's something that we're doing for you, I know that I'm a phone call away from any of my collaborations to just boom, explode your business if we're not doing it already. And if we're doing it already, then hey, thank you for being on the team.
All right. Looking at CDM, y'all's main focus or where I want to use this part, we're just bullshitting. Looking at CDM and y'all's strengths, one of CDM's biggest strength is CDM's approach to video content creation. So what is your opinion and what is your approach to when doing video content creation for Concepts Digital Marketing? How do you approach video content?
I think one of the coolest things, thank you, the question is how do we approach, how does Concept Digital Marketing approach video creation and content creation through video? We specialize in that. That's who we are and what we are. That is the heart and soul of Concept Digital Marketing. And now with the AI components added to that, it takes our team less work, to get involved in it. But the thing is, layering the material, and you see Derek and Brian with cameras, they just really, tearing it up out there, and they can bring back this general type content and place it into our AI programs, that we've actually developed, for the video, because we did video for so long that we've been able to like really create some really nice edit cuts, change your voice, layovers, we can do a bunch of different things now you've never been able to see before. The transitions are so much smoother. The sound quality is 100% better. We could, like I said, even create, like say for instance, you're like, I sell, this high quality material over here, for decorating. We could put, I personally would put like maybe some sort of European accent or something like that. And that's where we get really creative with that. But capturing the content, we do like to shoot everything in 4K. I like everything to be like very high res. And then from there, we can tone it down according to the client.
All right, Joe. I know one of CDM's biggest challenges was the pandemic. It was a challenge for really every business. And a lot of people argue people are still feeling that today, 4 years later. You're good. You can tell them.
Move a little bit to the left, please. Right there.
All right.
Yeah. This is all like, whatever. We can talk. It's all just.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to question 4, a lot of the, you're good. A lot of the biggest problems businesses faced was the pandemic, and we're still feeling those problems nowadays. A lot of people argue. So how would you say digital marketing and business in general has evolved since the pandemic? How has digital marketing in business post-pandemic here in 2024 going into the new year?
Well, I want to dive right into the pandemic because during the pandemic, we were able to collaborate and we got hired by doctors and hospitals, big ones too. There was, thank you guys for always supporting us. But the main thing was that we were able to get the information out to the public because that was the main thing. You couldn't communicate. You couldn't like knock on someone's door so they really didn't know what to do. Well, we did know one thing. Concept Digital Marketing knew and understood that everyone at that point was stuck to their phone for all the information they needed, whether it be news, whether it be social media, however it was. So we had several media outlets that we were working with during the pandemic and post-pandemic that allowed us to really excel at that to the point where we were even recognized by the governor of Texas, which is pretty outstanding as a marketing company to be recognized for our efforts. I do believe we actually even saved one hospital's license by reputation management during the pandemic because they were so included into the community and they're so embraced into the community with our marketing efforts through the social platforms that we were able to actually tell people where to get their shots, where to get tested, really directing the people on where they needed to go. And I think that was one of the most really coolest thing I ever seen. And then being recognized by the governor, how much better does it get than that as a marketing company?
Joe, just working with you over the years, I've heard you say this a lot, something I think that's really cool. I've heard you say the word, you like to give a concierge level marketing approach to your clients. And I've heard you say it before, our clients aren't just another account. You say you like to tailor unique strategies for them, for their goals and challenge. So just something I've always thought was cool that you've said, how would you approach what you call your concierge level marketing service for your clients?
Concierge level marketing is exactly what it is. If you've ever stayed at a 5-star, 7-star hotel, if you've ever even graced the lands of Dubai or any, maybe some high level, places in the world, whether it be New York or wherever, they're going to have someone that's called a concierge, which means you have somebody at your fingertips the entire time. You have me at your fingertips the entire time. So not only do you have the entire team of Concept Digital Marketing, but I personally will answer your phone. I stay on Zoom calls, Brian, sometimes to 11, 12 o'clock at night. You've been on those with me.
I've been on those.
And, but that's concierge service, when you can take a call at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, jump on a Zoom call, resolve a problem. Sometimes not SEO, sorry, we do SEO, but as a CEO, you don't have time during the day to carve out that moment when you have that aha idea. And then also, one of the things that really means a lot to me is as a creator, myself, being available to them, because sometimes those ideas hit at midnight. Those great ideas hit in the middle of the afternoon or 10 o'clock at night, but the magic spot is 10. I don't know why 10 o'clock at night is so special, but it seems like at 10 o'clock at night, you're either like waking up or you're going back to sleep or your body's recharging or you're like me. If you're not in bed before 10, you're gonna be awake till 2. And so that's when those ideas really get flowing. So we find ourselves on at that concierge level, being able to answer the phone and jump on a Zoom call at any given moment for the client. And I don't think there's a company like that out there anywhere in the world. And we don't make excuses for time zones. We don't make excuses for anything. If you need something from us, Concept Digital Marketing is here to deliver with our concierge service.
There we go. Let me go back to some other ones. I want to do a couple back to, let's see, where was it at? Prompt 2. The CDM's approach to video content creation. Obviously, that is our bread and butter. So I just want to we'll just have you go again, just so we can do that one twice. So question 2, what is CDM's approach to video content creation? I know you've said in the past that is, CDM's bread and butter. That's what we do best, and I completely agree. So what is CDM's approach to video content creation?
I think one of the coolest things, especially if you look at anything we've done in real estate, is we layer multiple angles, multiple technologies. So I'll give it away for you, and we'll let Derek answer some of these questions too. But like being able to watch a video that has many different components to it, that's gonna to keep the person's eye level. You have to keep that energy going. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but since the pandemic, people's attention span has gone down to here, guys. So we layer. You might see a time lapse. You might see a drone shot. You might see an on the ground shot. You might see a hovering pool shot. So we try to layer all these different components and make the transitions really fun and smooth, so you never even know what's happening. At the end of the video, 15 seconds most of all, some of them, you're sitting there going like, wow, I actually sat through this whole 15 seconds. And that's the crazy part, is you have to create video content that will hold somebody for 15 seconds. As crazy as that sounds, it's incredible. That's why we're winning right now, because we understand the psychology behind the video content creation. We know where to put it, and we know how to mess with it and play with it. And that's important, because you can have something, I can hand it to you right now, but what are you gonna do with it if you don't know what to do? So layering the different components of the video content gives us the opportunity to hold someone's attention longer. At Concept Digital Marketing, it's something we pride in, something the team has done a great job at. And if, at some point, maybe we get Derek on the other line so he can voice some of his opinions or give some answers to that. Also, the guys have done a great job. We have a great team.
Cool. And yeah, like eventually too, like I honestly, this is really cool. Like I think this is fun. Like we should maybe one day all have a content thing and just do this again with all of us like on camera and shit. That'd be really cool.
Just off the record, what I think what we should do is we should maybe like remove the green screen, put the banner there, set up a table, and have like 2 chairs, and have like a podcast setting right
For
there.
sure. Like and I think we should definitely do this like maybe once a week, once every couple
Banners
weeks.
over there.
But we'll get some content like this, and then we'll get content like that, like Jess, so we could shoot a lot this
What we'll
afternoon.
do
We could get
this week, we'll put the banner here on the floor and let it unwrinkle, because it has to. It's going to be wrinkled if we try to throw it up right now. And then from there, then we'll put it on the wall and let it settle in with a blow jar, maybe.
Yeah.
Heat it up a little bit so it'll set the wrinkle out. So
Yeah,
where do you want me to
natural
put this? Because I'm gonna take my jacket off now.
You could just clip it to your collar.
All right. Well, let me know if you're getting any noise off of that. I just want this to look a little different. And then I have a gray jacket.
Yeah, for sure. You can mix it up.
Put a gray jacket on in a minute.
Should I put a second camera on Brian or just leave it on you?
I think for now, I want to do
This is just a
content with
test
us. Yeah,
run.
like just mess. And honestly, right now, this is content. The main goal for this one specifically, I wanted
Just keep
was
it
content for his LinkedIn specifically, because that is just your brand.
all about him.
Just for now, but we're gonna mix it up, and obviously I'm in it. But just we're kind of free flowing. Whenever we have that situation set up like that, yeah, I think we should have 2 cameras set up, 2 mics, and we'll just have the quick shots back and forth. Like
Mic check.
Yeah, that content's really popular right now.
Mic check. Mic check.
You know what we need to do? We need to get
I want that in there.
We need to get headphones like you, like to where like the podcast style where we have like the
Headphones with
the big mic and like we'd be back and forth like that. The content's good, man. People like it. You're recording, Derek? Or
Yes.
okay.
All right.
Yeah, you can mix it up whenever sit or whatever.
Am I good? What I'm saying?
It looks good without the jacket too. You're mixing it up. I saw a good one here. Okay, Joe. I know we have a lot of discussions about especially right now. It's election year. We're recording this Monday, November 4th at 2:00. So we really have. Some argue the biggest election. You seem to hear that every time. This is the biggest election, but I really feel like this is a big election this time. So we've always talked recently about businesses and people finding struggle and stuff. And we have a lot of big marketing partners. Some of our friends have big agencies, small agencies who work with big and small. But right now, you really do talk about focusing on a local marketing partner, especially going into 2025. So why do you feel like right now it's good for a small business to have a local marketing partner going into the new year?
Well, as a small business, up to medium-sized business, and even I want to talk to the large corporations here. The thing is, how much of money are you trying to spend here? Because like you're going to go spend $200,000-$300,000 as a large company to try and create a marketing company within your company, which is they call a marketing department, and you honestly have no idea because they're all individuals. They're all individual people coming in, and so you're trying to like strategize and put this together. If you just hired Concept Digital Marketing, you will have everything at your fingertips. You'll have, like I said, concierge service. Zoom calls as often as needed and wanted and scheduled, by the way, or you can just call me privately. I do take those phone calls up to 11 o'clock at night. But that's right now for any level of company, whether it be super small or very large, we like to collaborate. And the reason why we love collaborating with other companies is because we don't necessarily want to be touching everything. And there's going to be somebody that's always got an edge on you somewhere else. Like our specialty is going to be working with Meta, creating video content with many layers, the ability to be, a concierge company, the ability to bring you AI components to elevate your business, drip campaigns, email blasting, SMS. I mean, we can do all this good stuff, And then we have some partners that bring up the SEO portion of it, and we manage the GMB. And so I think having like partners that you can collaborate with and work on something where you might find yourself like not 100% in that strength, and it might just be for that one individual client. you might just have this one particular situation where you're like, you know what? Let's bring in our collaborating partners because this is a little bigger than I had imagined. And that's when I feel a little safer and stronger also because it's all about you. It's about the client, you know? And so if we're not doing it right for the client, you're not seeing a return on your investment, then what's the purpose? But back to the beginning, like why would you hire 2 or 3 kids that are coming out of, you know, like, I don't know, maybe you saw them at church or in school or something, and they're really not marketers. That's another thing I want to hit on, Brian. You know, one of the things that I see a lot of mistakes for, and we'll just, you know, just flip the switch here. Mistakes small businesses are making right now. I'm speaking here to Brian Rodriguez. All right, we have Derek here, the man with the jam.
Hello.
And yeah, there he is. And so the question was small businesses, you know, like right now, you know, a lot of people, they'll see like somebody, and this is great, okay, I get it. You want to get involved and you see someone that's younger and you see them on their phone, and then you follow them on their social media platforms. You're like, this kid's really smart. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. Okay, you hire somebody that's not even in the marketing world. So there's a difference between a user and a marketing company. So a social media user is someone that entertains themselves through the social media platforms. And a marketing company is someone that utilizes social media to actually create income and create revenue. That's a big difference. So if you're going to bring somebody on board, don't necessarily take them on right now. Like it's kind of a joke here because we've been so busy taking care of everybody else. We've just now starting to take care of ourselves again. But you know, you really want to see who they are as a company and not as an individual, because an individual is not going to bring a lot to the table. They're going to have one specialty. They might be able to build you a website and maintain some changes here and there, things like that. But when you have like someone like Concept Digital Marketing that's completely supporting you from every single angle that you can possibly think of, handling that concierge service, you know, taking those calls in the middle of the night, doing whatever's necessary, and guess what? If there's something that we don't have, we'll go get it. That's the coolest part about like being an independent company also. But it's really, really nice to drive a small business. I'll use one of them as an example, like the Brown Bag. You know, we did a really cool push towards women. And this is a place that there just wasn't a lot of girls that hung out there. I mean, when they come, of course, couples come, things like that. But now all of a sudden, when the marketing efforts are drawn towards women, you could walk in there at any given time and there are tables full of girls, just all there. And it was just something that is brilliant. And I said, why are they not marketing to girls? They need to put it out there towards the women. And now it's just awesome to walk in there and see tables full of teachers and nurses and business people and lawyers and, you know, and everybody's like just collaborating together. But I think that's probably the most rewarding part about this particular job when you're doing marketing is to actually see results.
In your experience with marketing, why do you feel like, let's say that whether I have a new business or an existing business, any stage of having a business, whether it's starting or I've had it for 40 years, let's say I'm in a position where I don't have a website, I don't have any video content, I might not even have a social media account. Why do you feel like social media video content is a key to success for a business into 2025?
Well, there's going to be a few components of that. So the video component is so important because that adds the SEO portion to your social media. So there's SMO, which is social media optimization, but the way to incredibly optimize it is to have video content that's on there that's also pulling networking words from the internet. And the idea is to stay consistent on the internet. And this is something that a lot of people get confused at because they're sitting there like looking at things and like, okay, I'm trying to drive this sales funnel down and trying to get the sales funnel. And don't get me wrong, the funnel's gonna always be there, but there are other ways to be relevant in this society, and right now is by going in a circle and not necessarily like a little, twister there. And the reason why I say that is because we have what is called SEO, search engine optimization. All right, any of you guys who want like a cheat sheet, just go down below, click the button, do the fill out form. I will send you a cheat sheet with all these acronyms so you will feel a lot stronger when you talk to people about this. Because when you hire a marketing company, one of the things that's really hard is we're throwing out all these acronyms and all these different, SEO, SMO, GMB. For God's sake, what does that even mean? So that's one of the things that we also like to help out on. So in the circle of the internet, is the way I see it in my head. Of course, once again, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up, start drawing on a piece of paper, and the ideas come, is taking SEO with article backlinks, all right, creating authority on the web, and then taking a very strong video approach to your SMO, social media optimization, and then taking the back end of that with Meta and really getting the direct push towards your actual age group, demographic, gender, all of that stuff. You can really get specific. You know, if you know that no one under 40 is going to buy your product, don't advertise to them, but don't leave them out sometimes. So what we'll do is split testing, or we'll have some people that are in their 20s up to their mid 40s, and then from their 40s up to their 60s. And so split testing is also great. But the final portion to this is going to come down to the GMB. All right. So we actually do an SEO portion on your Google My Business profile that stimulates that the same way as stimulating your website. And we're building something that's a little bit shorter, like landing pages, and not so much of like 10, 15, pages of websites, because it's really not necessary to have that many pages of a website when the people, they want the information now, they want it delivered quickly, they like call to action in their face, and they want to get back on that page and buy, or integrate, or become part of your team, or whatever it might be that you're trying to do out there. But they need that in a short form and not so long form. We can attach the long form to the short form, but get into the short form first. That's going to give you an actual return on your investment quicker.
Speaking on return on investment and ROI, I know people right now are looking for the best ROI, but going back to what we said about businesses struggling, a lot of people might feel like they don't have the money for that. I know there's been a big push recently with Facebook adding Reels, Facebook and Instagram adding Reels, people seeing TikTok in that more vertical format becoming more popular. So a lot of people are just getting on their social media apps and making organic content. So what do you see social media advertising versus organic content? If you could just talk on that.
I think you need both. I think you need to have your statics that run in between your ads. And I think right now, a lot of people out there, if you are looking to bring someone on board, concept-driven marketing is definitely your team. But the idea that we've taken the time to study and realize that there's layering of content, same day content. Okay, so you might have a static, carousel and a reel running all on the same day, and then run static the next day solo, or maybe go static twice in a row, but to a different audience. All right, so you're not like your ads are not competing against each other, and then flip that audience when it comes down to like Thursday or Friday. So on the weekend you're doing something completely different, and then go ahead, rinse and repeat by flipping, again. And so that's, or creating the third audience that you're going to compete against, or to create more analytics. And so that's necessary for you guys to do that. And then what that keeps the amount of money being spent low, and then also gives you the opportunity to be a little bit more diverse. And what I mean by diverse is that, okay, let's say we're seeing like a really big push on Instagram. Well, then we're going to see that like before you even see it. So then we'll talk to you about pushing the numbers that way. I'll give you full reports of the analytics, what worked, what didn't work, on what day it worked, what day it didn't work. And then we start to really hone in on the type of content that we're trying to create, getting more specific, more organized in the way the content is pushed out there. But having the paid ad and then also static ads running, I think is a necessity right now. It's like a formula that's coming out, really getting the wave of how things go. As y'all know, this Meta doesn't want you to go boom, 100 miles an hour, all the time. They kind of like that little movement in there. As y'all know, when you're picking out your hashtags, that you don't want to have like every hashtag at 100 million followers. It just doesn't make sense, because that looks greedy. And so that's why you try to bounce those things around where they have like larger and smaller audiences. And we try to keep our hashtags below, 10, 8 probably. And then stop taking people off the page during the caption. That's very important. You got to stop that. That's something that I don't know why people do that. But you got to, don't send them to YouTube through a YouTube link when you can send them to the video through a Learn More. So you're staying inside the Meta platform, you're going to benefit a lot more, a lot better, because Meta wants you to play with their toys, and they're giving you a toolbox to play with. So just use it.
Let's see. In your experience with you doing marketing for 34 years and seeing the industry kind of change, it's kind of hard to predict the future. I don't think anybody can, but if you could entertain me, what do you think the future for digital marketing or digital ads might be?
Brian, I want to say it was in 2014. I went on stage at BehindTheChair.com. We were receiving an award for a very large company I used to represent, Fruit Systems. And when I went to the microphone, I don't know where this came from, but it just came out. And I've said it several times since then, but that was a defining day when I simply said, the way to change the future is to be the one creating it. You make it. You make it fresh. You make it new. Like this, we're improv. We're just like, having a good time shooting video. You're the one that has the ability to change the future. And I'll give an example right here, a really quick one, all right? If you take an axe and you walk outside and you slam it into a tree 5 times, right? And let's say you slam it into a tree 5 times every single day, what's gonna happen to that tree? It's eventually gonna fall down, right? But you stay consistent on it. You're creating something that's futuristic, being innovative, and then also, bringing in the AI component one more time. Bringing in the AI component to help you process your integrating, systems interior better, and a better way to like get information out, a better way to set the back end up, a better way to do your captions, your writing, but still keep, I will tell you that our little secret here, about a 40% human element to that, because you don't want to be all AI. You still want some, a big part of you in that too.
What would you say to a business owner, maybe that, let's say they're not too into technology or know too much about video content, especially, or any high quality video production? What would you say to a business owner that's just recording content on their MacBook versus finding someone like CDM to leverage high quality video content?
I would pay attention if you're going to be trying this at home, doing this yourself. Small business is hard. Trust me. There's some days when it's raining money, and then there's days when you're counting pennies and figure out how you're going to pay for lunch. But definitely a few things is understanding what vertical and horizontal is, and then why. Okay, and so I would definitely give you the opportunity to look that up, because there's a lot of information on the internet about that. And then also just understanding the sound quality that's there. A lot of people, which is okay, because honestly, some of the best videos I've seen on YouTube and Facebook and social media in general, I mean Instagram, it's not so perfect anymore. You don't. I guess now it's probably one of the best times if you're owning a small company and you're trying to get yourself out there. It doesn't have to be that perfect. If you want to be that perfect, of course you bring someone in. You tell us that you want it to be that perfect. We're gonna make it that perfect. But if you come in and you say as a client, you're like, hey, I want to do something fun, off the charts, something that people don't do anymore. Yeah, we can make some raw footage where you sound like you're, like Jim Cortez, whatever his name is, the guy from the weather company, and where you have the wind blowing and everything's going crazy. We can make all that fun stuff. But the cool thing about this right now, at home, I would say number one thing, understand what horizontal and vertical, means, what it looks like, the difference when you post it, and at what platform you post it at. That would make a bigger difference in which way you're holding the phone or the camera. And so that's probably one of the largest things right there. And if you take the time right now to maybe do hit the learn more button, do a fill out form, love to send you the top 5 answers right now on trends to follow and specific trends to follow on the social platforms. Takes a few seconds, fill out the form, boom, we'll send you over the nice little information packet. And we also have coming soon a whole entire book on how to just start a business from scratch. So if you guys have not done that before, wait, Concept Digital Marketing is going to bring it to you. Let's start with there. Like, hey, what if I want to start a business? Like, what do I do? Like, what's the first step?
Okay.
And so, hang on one second.
Sure.
Well, you can go ahead and ask a question now.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. How's the battery level?
How's the battery level?
55.
For the mic.
Mics.
If it's
One of them is on red right now.
okay.
I think it might be that one. But we just keep going until.
Yeah, we can go.
it's
Yeah.
passed.
I was
Yeah,
just
well, you'll know you won't be able to hear him, right? So, yeah.
And then at that point, he can go cut his hair because they charge really quick. I mean, even
Yeah.
10 minutes of charging is like you'll get some battery.
Yeah, I'll go cut my hair and change clothes.
Yep.
Something like that. All right.
All right. So,
That reminds me, Brian. I know you have a question, but we're talking about business. I remember I just said cut my hair, right? But I remember, somebody is in a song. He said, "I'll even cut my hair and change my name." Oh, hey, I want to be a rock star. That's what it is. So like when you want to run a business or start a business, you really want to talk to someone that's done it before. And we have 7 LLCs, so I'd love to help you. Anybody out there? So I'll go ahead and let you ask the question.
sure. As someone who has never had a business before or even thought about taking on something like that, it could seem pretty daunting to do. So how would you get started as a business in 2025? I wouldn't even know where to begin. So if I wanted to.
I did things so backwards. I mean, I came from the ghetto. I mean, we didn't have any knowledge of any of this stuff. And so I actually had a building that I rented for 2 years before the owner came in, I just took over a business that was leaving, heard they were going to leave and came in there and just took it over. But what I would say is to get somebody who has some sort of knowledge. So I hired a consultant. And back then, you can have people, you can pay them, $1,000, you can pay them $50,000. You can have your different levels of consultant depending on your budget. But nowadays, when you start a business, you have to do it backwards, all right? So let me explain what that means, all right? You're gonna have to take your top 5 names. So let's say you have the concept, the name of the company. Yeah, you have a product, but what are you gonna name the company? So now, you come up with this great name. You take it to the Secretary of State, it's not available. So this is where I'm telling you, start backwards. You go, take that name, find out which name is available to the Secretary of State. After you find approval of what's available to the Secretary of State, then you're gonna go ahead and make that investment to the Secretary of State. And there's some apps out there that make this very easy. You're gonna get the letter of formation. After you have letter of formation, you'll receive what's called an EIN number, okay? That's gonna be attached to you. It's gonna be your identification number for the rest of your life when you own that business. But watch this. Before you go crazy, and the lawyer says, yes, this name is available, this is where the backwards part, what I was talking about, what happens. You have to go back and now find out, is that domain available to create a website, all right? You have to go back and find out, is that domain available on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all these different aspects. So now you have to capture all those domains and own it. So now you own that name. And when you own that name, then you pay the lawyer the money to get your letter of formation, your EIN number, and then you start your business bank account, okay? That is something that has been different than it was in the past. And so I would tell you that's something that's very important. A low budget situation that you can get yourself into, but it can be very, very costly for taxes, is doing what's called a DBA, which means you are, let's say, for instance, I ran a company called Hair Dimensions, and it was, I had a bank account that said Joe Anthony, and then I had another bank account attached to it that said Joe Anthony, it was the Hair Dimensions by Joe Anthony, it was Joe Anthony DBA, Hair Dimensions by Joe Anthony, which meant Joe Anthony is doing business as, Hair Dimensions. And so that was one of the things. I can tell you, don't do that. It's very inexpensive to do that. But the reality is, when it comes down to like your structure, your taxes, man, what happens if you have a great year? You go out there and do $300,000-$400,000. Now you're paying like maximum taxes. So that's something that you got to pay attention to. And then I will tell you this right now: QuickBooks is great, but definitely have a certified accountant that is overseeing what you are doing through your QuickBooks. All right, that's very important. Don't think you've gotten so smart from YouTube and everywhere else, because the laws change and you don't know when those videos were made. And let's say, for instance, you're just trying to get started, and now you've done something backwards because you didn't know the laws changed, and now you're paying maximum taxes. It's not worth it. So it is worth to bring in a few experts in the beginning until you feel comfortable enough to be either to have it in house, do it yourself. The beginning, sometimes you do everything. I took the trash out, I've mopped the floors, people were like, what are you taking the trash out for? Did you own the company? I go, yeah, but I'm still, at that time, I'm still a small company. So yes, you do everything. You get married to it. So I just want to get something out of the way before we go any further. When you start a company, you're not starting a company so you can have more time for yourself. All right? You're starting a company because you're willing to dive in and give up every single moment of your life to make this company work. And that is something that is a game changer. When you come into it thinking that way, knowing you got to put in the grind, knowing that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel if you do enough work and put your heart and soul into it. Just like I said earlier, I don't know if I said it on this one or not, but if you take an axe and you start hitting a tree 5 times a day, eventually that tree is going to fall. But that grind, you still got to hit the tree, because if you don't hit it, it's not going to fall. And so if you're not putting in the grind and you're not putting in the time, you're not going to see the results at all. It won't be there. And then as you grow, you hire people, and you bring them in. You just try to design a really nice culture and build it from there, And if you need any help doing anything we just heard right now, just holler at me, all right? Concept Digital Marketing. My name is Joe Anthony.
All right. I know me and Derek have had some fun messing around with some of these AI-generated voice programs. They call it text-to-speech, and there's a lot of other AI tools that are like shaping the future of content creation in general, honestly. So me and Derek have talked about AI-generated voice being very advanced. It's really hard to distinguish between the voices and a real person. So how would you see the rise of voice and AI-generated content in digital marketing in regards to making content production?
I think Elon Musk said it the best. is that as long as we can keep AI honest, that it's going to be okay. So one of the things that I've heard recently that was very disappointing, because I'm very excited about AI. I'm so excited because we own a marketing company, and now we have an AI marketing company, Concept Digital Marketing. So, but keeping it honest is going to be the hardest part. I've heard a recent story of you can literally capture someone's voice on a phone, and they were like sending this voice to a grandparent with a kid asking for money, and it's like it never was even that kid. Kind of like the old-fashioned email scheme they did to us back in the 90s, which this is more like scary to me because you honestly hear and think that you're talking to somebody. And I will tell you on a lighter note, the AI voice component connected to the proper bot and back-end development can learn. It's a learning process, so you can start to disrupt your bots, and try and break them. And that's a very important part. If you guys, anybody's out there going to build a bot or is trying to get very specific on what you want your bot to do, you do want to have that learning behavior pattern that's built into the back end of it. And that's something that we have access to and can do here at Concept Digital Marketing. And it's fun. It's fun to create right now and turn around and you sell that in 5 years. You never know. Yeah, that's how it goes. But AI is definitely something that helps us generate more content, that allows us to hit more platforms at one single push of a button, knocks down our editing time probably in half, maybe more, and it allows creativity too, because now you're seeing all the components, especially with the voice. The voice is cool because I know there's like a hair company out there at one time that we were repping, and I just kept saying, Chris, if we could just put like a British accent to this, I know we'll sell more of it. Because if you ever go to like any type of education that has anything to do with fashion or beauty, all right, you could have the smartest guy out there speaking the most perfect English, and then you have this guy who doesn't know absolutely nothing, knows nothing, but he has a British accent. In that industry, that accent will dominate, and everyone will go that way just because of the way the accent comes. So I would say, look at your market, look at where you're at, look at what product you're trying to use, and then take that AI voice component, Brian, that you're talking about, and apply it that way. That would be the smartest way to use the AI voices.
Okay. What would you say to a business right now if they're shopping around on LinkedIn and or Google looking for a digital marketing partner or a digital marketing business to help them with their services? What are some key qualities of a successful marketing agency relationship between a business owner and a digital marketing partner?
I think the one thing you need to do as a person who is the agency is the agency needs to have something that makes you sticky. All right, so we have to have great reporting. If you're not meeting with your agency once a month or once every 2 weeks and talking about what's next and what they're doing and how it's working, it can be very confusing. So that's a very strong component right there, is having these meetings weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it takes. But the idea is you're spending the money and you want to know where it's going. And so you want to know how it's being used effectively. You want to know the efforts behind all that. So that's where that relationship comes. And that's one thing that's really important. And Brian, that's why we started the whole concierge part of it, because the relationship starts getting built there when you communicate more. The more and more you communicate and talk to your client, the more comfortable they are, the more they are receptive to like your ideas and how we can move things forward and move the needle. Like most recently, and I think Derek and Brian came up with this idea. Brian, I think you were on top of it from is to take those allocated dollars and let's spread them out. So let's say a client is going to pay the monthly fee to keep you on as an agency, and then they have an X amount of dollars they want to use a month over here. Let's spread it out a little bit. Let's push some towards one social platform, push one towards Google, push one towards the SEO portion. Start moving that money around. Don't stay in one place. So they give you a budget. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like, move those things around. Make sure there's enough money that's allocated towards the SEO. Make sure you're definitely pumping up the meta platforms with strong video content on the SMO. And then I'll make sure that you're at least bi-weekly manipulating the GMB so that you can really be seen. And what that does, it just keeps you constantly on the web the entire time. You're always going to be on. There's this vicious circle that's just going because you're just there all the time, like all the time, even through article backlinks and everything else that runs through there. So yeah, that's a really key component. But back to the original question, I think it's the putting the analytics together, actually sitting down or Zooming. We do a lot of Zoom. It's easier for Zoom because I can record it and send it to you. I know, it's so weird and people won't do a Zoom, but they don't realize the power behind that because I can record those with our note takers and we can, literally send you the entire thing, the video itself, or a breakdown that's on there, So having these reporting and then actually being able to send them the notes on the reporting meetings, I think that helps them really, really create a relationship because they see it, because social media and digital advertising is not tangible. You can't touch it. That's like buying lives on a video game. Like that's invisible stuff. You're buying it because you want to play the game longer. Now, that's the same reason why you buy ads. The same reason why you advertise and you work on your SEO and your SMO is because you're actually buying something that's going to give you a return on your investment. In a video game, it's pleasure because you get 15 more minutes to play. In business, it's success because now we're driving more revenue towards your company.
Talking about the importance of adaptability in digital marketing, what would you say to a business owner? Are you good? Get some water.
I will say just if whenever you tilt the mic like that, it will affect the audio.
There's feedback.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you have to keep it straight.
Okay.
And then the closer you get, the louder you'll get. So hold it about right here,
Okay.
and then be careful in like tapping something with the same
Yeah.
hand as your mic.
Do you need a
come through.
microphone
And
stand?
your necklace is kind of bumping a little bit, but it's not going to be too noticeable. So I'm probably going to put lo-fi. in the
It'll be
background.
lo-fi, and then and honestly, like
I can move this up a little bit.
even that like Discord, like it can be like this content can be like almost playful. Like that Discord sound came through. Like if it came through and it's a good clip, like we literally put like a little Discord thing pop up like a joke, like I don't know.
And I will say, I know you're kind of against it, but I think we should try it. We should definitely do hard cuts too.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Just hard cut to where we're talking about the next thing.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to for sure.
Yeah, this is just long form stuff that we're trying to use for LinkedIn and we can use as reels. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll have to be hard cuts for sure.
All the editor notes I had.
Let's see.
Good ones.
Okay, yeah. So talking about the importance of adaptability in digital marketing, what would you say to? I'm gonna kind of like spitball my own question out of this. What would you say to a business owner that maybe checks in on their marketing efforts once a year and they're not interested in changing with their marketing efforts? They're happy with buying the newspaper ads. They're happy with buying whatever. They have no interest in changing their marketing efforts. What would you say to a business owner that isn't interested in learning new marketing tactics?
Good luck. The question is, what would I do or say to a business owner that doesn't want to adapt to society? Good luck. It just good luck. It just is not there anymore. Try pulling out cash at a concert. You're not going to be able to buy anything because you don't understand how things have changed. Try paying for your kid's school lunch right now with cash. You can't. You have to go on the app and you have to download your credit card and you have to use your bank statement, whatever. So if you're a business and you're refusing to adapt and you think that you're still going to win with a newspaper, first of all, magazines haven't been allowed like in salons and barbershops since the pandemic. So if you're going to spend $100,000 on a magazine ad, better make sure that their digital platform is super strong because you still believe in paper. But this is a paperless society, guys. And the people, it scares them when you talk about it this way, but it really is. It's getting more and more. One of our business, I remember being able to walk out daily with $2,000 or $3,000 and going to the bank to deposit it. I don't walk out with anything anymore. I go over there. There might be $100 in cash from change that's left over from someone's transaction, something simple. But I mean, take that $3,000 to $5,000 a day to $70-$60 now when I go to make sure the safe is clean and everything's done. And then I get this printout about yay long, if not longer, I don't know if the camera's catching or not, that tells me every single transaction that went down. I go to my reporting, to my POS system. I see the number of transactions that were done through what credit card processors they were using, and then just a bunch of different things like that. And so so if you're not willing to adapt, you're just going to be left behind. And it's social media is not the future, guys. It's been part of people's lives for so long. And it's a powerful tool. So do you want to take the chance of your name popping up on a billboard that's flashing every 10 seconds? Or do you want to just put your ads in the palm of everyone's hand? So if you want to put your ads in the palm of everyone's hand, give us a call. Concept Digital Marketing, constantly moving.
Let's see.
Perfect. Back up a little bit. Perfect.
Want to go chop his hair off or change jackets?
No, I was gonna say like this would be a good time to do that.
All
Yeah, we can stop here.
I'll get some new prompts. That was good. We got I didn't use some of them. But we got like 15 of those. Like, I mean, that was pretty good.